the paper pattern has changed drastically. Like it
Whether to go for clinical postings, whether to attend all the lectures or just do self study. When did you make that decision of taking radiology? Was that pre-decided, or just because you got a great rank you decided to okay go for radiology?
I completely switched off my Instagram account. You just start watching reels and you just don't realize that you have already wasted your hour. If you are like sincerely preparing, you should cut down your social media.
And can NEET PG preparation and internship go hand in hand? Is there a difference between when you give NEET PG as an intern, as a freshly passed out, versus in a drop attempt?
Yes, sir. The amount of pressure which we have during drop year is immense.
Taking a drop without a job or taking a lighter job. So how did you manage your mental health in this whole preparation period?
And learning from the questions is much more important than learning from any resource. Competition is really increased.
So, hello guys, I'm Dr. Rahul Chawla, and today I have a very special guest on my so-called podcast. So, we have Dr. Manika Agarwal. So, she has scored 324 in the NEET PG exam, and she's here to give you some tips regarding how to prepare for NEET PG entrance. She would like to share with you her success mantras. So, Manika, can you please share something about the beginning of your preparation journey, as in when did you get selected for NEET UG, and then which college you joined, and how did it all started, how you plan to start for NEET PG preparation?
Thank you so much, sir. First of all, for inviting me. It's my pleasure. So, I'm Dr. Manita Upwal. I completed my MBS from private institute. So, I started preparing back in my second year. Like, first year, it was all about adjusting to the new environment. And like, second year, sincerely started preparing. So, I took the individual apps and I prepared my own calculating notes.
So, Manika, you told me that you are from a private medical college. What is the difference between academics and the whole environment in a private versus government medical college, both in terms of academics inside the college and the results of the students after completion of MBBS? Does being from a government medical college give you an edge over those who are in a private medical college?
In private medical college, there is always a mindset that अगर आपने MBBS अपना private से किया है तो PG भी private से होगा. So it's very difficult to break that mentality for your own self. And people around you always say that private ही करना है. So there is always that stigma. There is so much of online content out there. So it helps in a big way to all the people to level it up.
There is a whole controversy about whether to read the standard textbooks as in Robbins and Harrison versus coaching material while you are preparing for professional examination. So I want to ask whether you used to read these traditional books like Robbins or Harrison, or some guidebooks, or these coaching notes while you were preparing for professional examination.
So, very honestly, during my professional examination, I used to study like the guidebooks and the coaching institute notes. Like I used to prepare notes from the coaching institute the entire year, and I used to read along with the guidebooks. Like for Robbins, I did a little bit of it. Like Harrison's, I didn't touch. If you're not reading guidance, AKGM with your coaching notes. That's the best plan.
But there is a whole controversy around that also used to be in our times as well. Whether to go for clinical postings, whether to attend all the lectures or just do self study. So did you used to maintain a balance between the two, or you used to go to clinical postings and attend all the lectures, or you just used to study from all the resources you have online?
I used to be very keen about going to posting. I was someone who was very like, I'm okay if no one is taking the test, I can take it.
So we know that the clinical postings are really helpful in terms of your own clinical acumen and your own clinical practice in the future. That is going to help you to be a better doctor. There are no doubts about that. Now the question is, does it also help in your NEET PG preparation?
Clinical postings are actually very relevant in this time of like the paper pattern has changed drastically. Like it has converted into like clinical paper. Like you, when you attend the NEET paper of this year, you just feel that you are attending a OPD of 200 patients, just no more of like 200 questions and like one language. So clinical posting don't help a lot.
When did you make that decision of taking radiology? Was that pre-decided, or just because you got a great rank you decided to okay go for radiology?
Sir, to be very honest, it's about the rank that I wanted. Like I I was fascinated with radiology, but taking that decision was because of RAM.
Something about social media. So now we have excess of information. Okay, everyone is trying to be an online gyani, including myself. So each and everyone who has cleared the exam, even those who have not cleared the exam, are here giving you pearls about NEET preparation, be it NEET UG or NEET PG preparation. So while you were preparing, especially from internship and your drop year, were you still connected to those accounts, to all those people who were giving gyan, be it on YouTube or Instagram, or you chose not to have any engagement with them, or did you just disconnect it with the social media?
So actually, when I completed my internship, I completely switched off my Instagram account. You just start watching reels and you just don't realize that you have already wasted your hour. So it's very important that if you are sincerely preparing, you should cut down your social media intake.
So internship is a time where you have just passed out of your MBBS, you have gained yourself doctor title. There is some cash inflow as well. You have started earning. Then you are working in the hospital, meeting new people, working in different departments every month. And then there is NEET PG preparation. So how to balance out all those things together? And can NEET PG preparation and internship go hand in hand?
After completing your final year exams, you feel very you think that internship and going to internship is always a fun because you go out there and you are earning as well as you said. So balancing NEET gets difficult because you are enjoying that time. For NEET preparation, I would say that after coming back from internship, to just keep the studies with you. Like if you are seeing what is, come back and study about that subject. Like if you are going for a medicine posting, try to cover maximum of medicine that time. When you are doing your surgery posting, you should cover your surgery posting. That's how I did.
Okay. And do you think, is there a difference between when you give NEET PG as an intern, as a freshly passed out, versus in a drop attempt?
Yes, sir. The amount of pressure which we have during drop year is immense. While in the internship attempt, for maximum of us, it is uh, it's like a trial exam or just a mock test. Okay, fine. What's our baseline GT times? So it actually helps. When you are not in that much of pressure, mentally, it helps a lot. Like internship attempt is the best attempt with regard to your mental health, and a drop year is that you are most prepared in that.
So what do you think is better for NEET PG preparation? Taking a drop without a job or taking a lighter job?
So I feel that it depends on the person, the kind of person you are. Like there are people who just can't be without job. They don't feel like that doctor thing, sitting at home and preparing. But for me, it was like I get distracted very easily. So I chose that way that I won't be able to do it with a job. So that's like a person.
So there's a whole discussion about mental health. We know how toxic medical curriculum, the medical system and the internship is. And then you have to prepare for NEET PG. For any person, such kind of intensive preparation takes a huge toll. When you know, even if you miss by a single mark, that would mean not getting your dream branch. So how did you manage your mental health in this whole preparation period?
Also, my mental breakdowns are real. Like it happens to everyone, and it's very important to realize that we should talk more about it. Like there are times when you get exhausted during preparation, during your internship, during your MBBS times. So it's very important to talk it out. Like and there should not be any stigma. And I have seen it real. Like in colleges also, like we all are medicals, still we have that thing that someone is going through mental health issues, and we don't see it very nicely. That needs to be changed, and we should not label people. And if anyone while preparing is having issues, then they should seek help for real. And it is okay to go out and seek help.
And if you would want to go back, try to revisit your whole journey and point out a mistake which you committed, which you would not want fellow aspirants to repeat the same, then what would that mistake be?
So in the initial part of my preparation, it was all about reading a lot of resources, doing a particular subject like for surgery, and seeing a lot of videos from multiple resources. I think that was a major mistake, and the impact was that I was not able to do a lot of questions. Like, if I'm giving 6 days for surgery, as it is a major subject, so I was not able to do a lot of questions. But finally, in the final revisions, I realized that doing questions and learning from the questions is much more important than learning from any resource. So while you do a lot of mistakes while doing questions, that helps a lot rather than doing a lot of resources.
So, what do you suggest fellow aspirants whenever they join a medical college? Should they start preparing for NEET PG from first year itself, or they should take a while, realize what is there in the medical college, chill for a while, then start their NEET PG journey from third year or final year onwards?
So I believe that it's always good idea to start as early as preparation because competition is really increasing, and it's always good to balance both of it. Like you should not miss out on extracurricular activities just because of academics. You should try to balance it out, and it's always a good idea to start early. If you are starting, what you have to do is read your standard textbook like BD Chanasya is a norm, so that you will be reading. But reading a textbook with the video lectures will always help you in your professional exams. So it's good idea that you mix both of it. Like read the textbook plus do the video lectures.
The question is, do these online lectures, are they for conceptual clarity, understanding of subjects, or they are just for the sake of helping you memorize the facts for NEET PG?
So actually, I feel that main videos of any platform are basically the concepts, core concepts from the standard textbook. Like, and they always put grades for anatomy, not even BD. So I feel that main notes are actually making you understand the standard textbooks. So it's very important that you do videos because it makes you understand it. If you are reading just the textbook and you are not understanding anything out of it, so there is no point of doing it again and again. It is just a hard work with, like, you have to be smart a little bit that you need to understand what is going on. So if you watch a video for a one time and after that when you read a book, then it makes much more sense. So that way I feel that video are important. Video lectures are very important.
And plus, always you have the option to skip and to make it 2x.
Yes, that's the best.
So, the other thing, if you could just briefly enlist your sources, your source material for each and every subject, very brief.
Yes, sir. I can tell subject wise what all faculties I watched is anatomy by Ashwin sir, physiology by Pooja ma'am, and biochemistry mainly was first aid. Pharma I did from GRG sir. Path and micro I did from DT ma'am. FMT narrow lectures were good. Like for short subjects I majorly did narrow, and for PSM I did narrow, and medicine I did few units from Marwa sir and few from Nair sir. So whichever suits you, you can go for that. And for surgery, I did from Maru. And for OBG, I did it from Vietnam. Pedia, I did from Maru. And for short subjects, it was all Maru and like BTR and bonus.
Okay, that was very exhaustive. And there is a whole controversy that is going around about a few, crash courses that covers the whole aspects of medicine in a few days. So there are people who are saying that it's not a magic wand, and there are people who are saying that they really help a lot. So what do you think?
I feel that that they help a lot, undoubtedly, if you are well prepared. Like if you have watched the main videos, if you have done the hard part, studying the books which were required in MBBS, they actually concise it into a revisable format. And it's very revisable in the last 10 days. So it's good if you have that conceptual clarity. You just can't go there with the thought that 3 days में सब कुछ हो जाएगा. It's not like that. It's like you have to have a base, then only it can help you. And it's never meant to be like enough. Like that's not the motto that you just have to do that much. It's like that's the most important. You have to do that plus additional.
Advice in bullet points you would like to give to the fellow aspirants?
There are 4 main pillars to any preparation. Like number one was resource shipping solid. Like you should be confident that this resource is working out for me. Whatever is working out, like for each subject, you can go to different resources, and then you can figure out, okay, this is working for me. That way you can use it, and then you have to do question practice. Like you can do it in the form of test, or you can make custom modules, or whichever phase of preparation you are in. Like if you are doing it subject wise, just 2 questions. And like 100 is the bare minimum you have to do every day. So a question practice is second. And the third is like JTs. JTs have to give like every 15 days if you are in your gap year, or maybe a month if you are preparing during your internship. And then revising that JT and like reviewing that JT and identifying your big topics, which topics you are consistently doing wrong, and ensuring that whenever you are giving the next JT, you are not missing out on those uh, particular key topics. Like one mistake if you have committed once, you are not allowed to do it again. You have to be strict with yourself, because in this era of competition, we don't have that luxury of doing mistake from the topic which we already know that these topics are coming. Then finally is the day, like just going to exam, that pressure. It's very important that you should have a healthy mindset just before entering into the exam. Like very neglected, but it's very important that how you calm down your nerves on the day of the exam. It's very important to have a friend or a family person who understands like your mental health very well, and it's okay to go out and seek help. If you are suffering, go out and seek help. Don't be like, it's just happening to me, and don't take that much of pressure. It's just an exam at the end of the day, and everything will fall in place. You have to reinforce it every time to yourself that everything will be okay.
Yeah, everything went not okay, but it was really great. And your results have been really outstanding. So, Manika, thanks a lot for your time. I hope your pearls and your success mantras would be a guiding light for all the fellow aspirants. And I wish you all the luck and all the best for your future journey. And I hope you do get your choice of hospital and choice of city in radiology. Wishing you all the best. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is mine. Thank you so much.